What is up, guys? Welcome back to another daily build video. Today we're talking about a car that I've gotten a few requests in the comment section, the Aston Martin Vanquish in Street Tier 2. Let's go. Real quick before I get into the video, if you're looking for any of my builds, I have a full spreadsheet of builds for Need for Speed Heat, Need for Speed Unbound, and the community builds for Need for Speed Unbound, and I'm adding Motorfest tunes as well. You can go to militiagamingcode.com/builds and you will find those builds. And in addition to that, if you want to submit your builds for testing, you can do that on the same exact page. Just scroll down and enter your information in either the Motorfest form or the Unbound form. I'll check it out when I have a chance, and maybe you'll be featured in a video like this. All right, let's get into this. All right, so taking a look at the stats first, we've got the speed or top speed at 225, which is right in line with everything else in Street 2. Acceleration is at 3.0, it's pretty good. Braking is at 19.5, that's average, and lateral G stat is at 1.28. Again, that's sort of average in the middle. As far as the tune goes, we've got the brake balance at 65%. And if we go down to the suspension, I've increased the stiffness just a little bit in the front, 3% on that. And then if we go down to the anti-rolls, plus 10 on the front and plus 5 on the rear. And then the camber is at minus 0.25 and minus 0.10. The idea here is to give the front of the car just a little bit more grip and a little bit more stiffness. By doing this, I'm just giving the car just a tiny bit of oversteer. The idea is that the car understeers a little, which it doesn't really in the stock state. It does fine, but it needs to oversteer just a little bit without breaking loose the back end in order to take some of the tighter turns and some of the higher speed corners. I don't think this car is the best at those high speed corners. I think it's okay, but it's definitely pretty good at grabbing the gutters, which I think that'll definitely benefit us here in the grand races. So let's take it out there and see how we do. All right, here we go. So we're starting in Alpha GP, and those are always the roughest starts. So fingers crossed we get a good start. That'll kind of determine what happens in the end, but we go into Street 2 after that. So Vanquish is second on the list. Here we go. Ooh, that was a close one, dude. Let's go. Let's freaking go, dude. All right, just don't mess it up now. All right, it took that a little slower than I needed to, but all right. Let's just hope now I can control it through these. I go a little slower than some people, but I really don't like losing traction on these switchbacks or these very tight turns. Alright, dude, we're off and running. So I think we'll have a pretty decent race, provided that I don't mess it up royally with the Vanquish. This lead is definitely not going to last. Oh, man. I don't like hitting the wall there. It's all good. Street Tier 2, here we go. Oh, all right. That corner is always so much tighter than you're expecting, and the braking line is not great. All right, there's a lot of cars that are better than the Vanquish, but I think it's viable, provided that I can drive it. As you can see, it turns in nicely. You can see it turning in, and the back end looks like it wants to... Oh, that's my bad. I entered that turn way too hot. You can see it turning in, dude. It wants to do its thing. If I would just stop entering corners like super fast. I have a feeling I'll get caught here. Because like I said, it's not the fastest car in Street 2, but it does all right. And now, of course, the nose itch comes into play. Can I get it over this jump? Yep, we're good to go. Mission accomplished. And we're into hypercar. So there you go. That was a really fast street section. And into hypercar we go. I'm in the EV110. Anyway, about the Vanquish. Like I was saying, it's not the fastest. Handle's okay. It's got some power. But overall, it's kind of a nice car to drive. It feels kind of sticky to the road, which is nice. Man, a second gear turn in a hypercar is just so annoying. I bet if I used that gutter properly, I probably could have taken that in third instead. That's what I like to see. Oh, a little oversteer there. Coming out. And this car just feels great to drive also. All right, that was a terrible gutter. But we got it done, guys. We got it done. We got the dub. That was a pretty good time as well. Not too bad, 5 minutes and something. But it's really good for a grand race. One of the faster ones for sure. Anyway, to kind of sum up my thoughts on the Vanquish, I think it's definitely viable. You can definitely use it in the grand races. It doesn't have like an overly crazy top speed. Not necessarily. I mean, if you're in slip, you've got NOS, obviously you're gonna be going fast. But in terms of you by yourself, not the craziest top speed. It kind of, with NOS, you can get it to the low 230s, but it handles pretty well. It's a little bit heavy, feels a little bit heavy when you're driving it. It's not quite as responsive as you would want it to be, or as some of the other Street 2 cars are, like the Huracan or the Corvette ZR1. That being said, I like using it. I think it's kind of a nice off-meta car that you can use. If you're a fan of Aston Martin, I would definitely recommend the Vanquish. It's usable. So there you go. Another car down. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you have questions on this, please do not hesitate to send me a DM. They're always open. I read every single message that comes my way. I will catch you on tomorrow's daily build. Trigger out.